Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to this live OET All-Star session with Swoosh English. My name's Scott. I'm an OET teacher and academic director of Swoosh English, premium preparation provider for the OET exam. And if it's your first class today with us at Swoosh, welcome. Hope you have a great time taking part or listening to some of the mock OET speaking feedback that we are going to do today. If you're a regular, well, of course, welcome back and enjoy this session. So let's get started with the class today. I'm going to see who has joined me in this class today. I like to obviously call out people who have taken the time to come and join me today. So we have Mariama, we have Divine, we have Joan, we have Gage, we have Shruti, we have Hema, we have Mizbah, we have Harmatha, Reggie, Ma, and Hindi over in the OET Facebook channel. Welcome to the session today. If I get anyone's names wrong, by the way, please don't hold it against me. I have to go through all of these names very quickly. Over on the OET YouTube session, we have Shella, we have Mary, we have Sundas, we have Andy, we have Varkis, Kai, Sini, Sharin, Hala, Kennedy, Adele, Daniel, Shreya, Dayanup, Usman, Angel, Maureen, Sigrid, 007, James Bond, Deep Ridge is in the session today. We have Raghav, Sonia, Aswathi, Paduthanam, Raghav, Saeed, and Shivani as well. Okay, great. Welcome everyone over in the YouTube session and over on their own Swoosh English Facebook and YouTube channels. We have Karen. Good afternoon to you too, Karen. We have Tyzer says good morning. Good morning to you too, Tyzer. We have Ambi has said good morning to you too. We have Ashi, good afternoon to you too. Stally has said hello, sir. Hello to you too, Stally. We have Benedicta. Hello to you, Benedicta. We have Glaza. Hello, Glaza. And we have Verdi. And we have Steina as well. Welcome, everyone, to the session today. Thanks a lot for joining me. So if you're not following either the OET official page or the Swoosh English page, if you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, well, make sure, of course, you follow our page. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can be notified when any of the Swoosh English events are coming up in the future. Just take a moment right now, like us, follow us, leave us a comment, subscribe to the Swoosh English channel that you're watching on so you're up to date with all of the content that we do on a weekly basis for your OET preparation. Guys, it was a big results week this week as far as I'm aware. Has anyone taken and passed the OET exam this week? Did anyone get results, the results that they wanted with passing scores in your OET exam? Please let me know. Throw in the comments. Is anyone lucky enough to pass their OET exam? I love to hear some success stories. So I'll wait here for a second and see if we get any success stories coming in. I'm seeing a few people say congratulations. So I'm going to assume that there were a few good results that came through, but I want to know if anyone has done so very quickly. Okay. All right. So we got a few people are coming into the session now. No one said yet that they've passed. Maybe there's a bit of a delay coming in because I know there's going to be some people have passed their OET exam this week. And I just want to know exactly who that was. Throw the comments in. And if you haven't taken your OET exam yet, also let me know when you plan to take your OET exam. Let me know in the comments, either if you've passed your OET exam this week and I've got great results, or you or you plan to take your OET exam very soon. Let me know exactly when you plan to do it and when you plan to have it. All right. Mercedes said, congratulations to all the Filipino nurses who passed the OET. Amazing. I'd like to know who those nurses are and when they've passed their exam. Please let me know. Thank you very much. Okay. So some people are taking their exam August 7th, some August 28th, some 11th September, some this month, some next month. Okay, great. Those who are taking the exam this month, I hope you are feeling prepared to ace your exam. Make sure you are prepared as well as you can. You know your score coming into your exam in advance, as that's the surefire way for you to take and pass your exam. Kawitha has said, I'm awaiting my result. Well, I hope it's what you want to get, Kawitha. Taizir has said, I'm taking my exam August 28th, so a month of preparation, Taizir. I hope you are feeling prepared, or you are prepared to make sure you are prepared in the next month. Anvi has said September the 11th, so about 6 weeks of preparation. Stacey has said, yes, sir, I plan to take my exam September 25th. Good bit of time for you too, Stally. But make sure, of course, that you are preparing adequately right now. Give yourself those full 2 months of preparation for a lot of context. Okay. And Jezebeth has said, good day, sir. I haven't taken the exam yet, but I'm planning to take in September. Great. Make sure that you are prepared for your exam in advance. There's basically, you can do too little preparation, but you can't do too much adequate and appropriate preparation for your exam. So please keep that in mind, guys. Okay, thank you very much. So I noticed a few people have said, a couple have passed, great, fantastic. And those who are wanting to take the exam are taking it very soon. So welcome to the session today. Let's get started. Let's get right in to what we're planning to do today in this preparation session. So it's an OET mock exam speaking class. Let's get started into what we're going to be doing today. Now, if you've been to these classes before, you're going to know exactly what's going to happen today. But I'm going to go through what we're going to do anyway, in case you're new to these classes. And of course, you're more than welcome, and you're wanting to prepare for your OET exam. First thing we're going to do, of course, is you're going to learn and review the scoring criteria for OET speaking. It's essential that you know that criteria like the back of your hand, and you're applying that criteria easily and effortlessly before you take the exam. And the first step for that is knowing it, and of course, before you apply it in live speaking practice. You're going to take part 2 or listen to OET role plays. There'll be 2 role plays done today, one for medicine candidates and one for nursing candidates. But if you don't get a chance to do some speaking today, you're going to get a lot of feedback and useful information from analyzing the student performance and comparing that to your own. So make sure, even if you don't speak today, that you make the most of this class to take some of the feedback on board to prepare for your own OET exam. If we have some time at the very end, there will be a small Q&A where you can ask me some questions about OET speaking today, as well as about us at Swoosh English. Speaking of Swoosh English, it's a big weekend for us. I'm going to tell you more about our free upgrade offer on selected OET courses in the middle and at the end of the class. But for now, if you come to us at Swoosh English this weekend, we're offering a free upgrade to a higher package on selected packages. More information on the banner at the bottom of the screen, guys. SwooshEnglish.com, free upgrade on selected OET courses this weekend. I'll give you guys more information about that throughout the class. Stay tuned and make sure you stay to the very end to hear more information about that. So, question for everyone here. What do you plan to do when you pass your OET exam? I love hearing this information because this is the reason that you're all taking the OET exam. You're wanting to improve certain aspects of your life. You have got a big dream, a big goal, and a big aspiration. You're going through all of this hard work and effort for a reason. And I just want to remind everyone about the reason why they are doing that, okay? Because you're busy professionals. You're busy with life in general. And it can be easy for us to forget that big goal and that big dream and that big aspiration at times. So I want you to remind me, or tell me, but also to remind yourself about why you're going through all this effort. So throw in a few inspiring stories. What is the big reason that you are doing all of this? Throw me in some comments and messages into the Facebook feed or the YouTube feed that you're watching on, please, guys. So Virgie, hello Virgie, has said, I want to relocate to the UK. Very nice. I hope you can aspire to that, Virgie, and keep that in mind, the big reason why you're moving to the UK and what you want to do through doing that, okay? Divine has said, I'm working as an executive secretary in marketing AI. Oh, very nice. Misbah said, take the plan and practice in the UK. Very nice. On the YouTube channel, Daniel has said, work as a nurse in the UK. Roshni wants to move to Ireland. Great place to move to. I live there myself. Biamal says, move to the UK. Shintu, move to the UK. Koma, I want to get experience in the NHS. Islamiat has said, work as a nurse in the UK. Raghav wants to work as a pharmacist in the UK or Australia. And Christina has just said, get ECFMG registered and also get done with the PLAB exams. Keep them coming in, guys. Keep them coming in. Nishan, I want to move to the UK, my dream place. Lovely. And Tasira said, start my fellowship program and anesthesiology in the USA. Shannon has said, my dream is to be registered in Ireland. Guys, keep that goal. I'm zooming into you right now, zoom, because I want just to make it clear to you, keep that goal in mind. There will be some speed bumps on the way to your OET preparation. And sometimes we might lose motivation at times. You won't lose motivation if you keep that big dream and that big idea at the forefront of your OET aspirations. And also if you prepare adequately for your exam, where you make your preparation as easily as possible because you know you are getting the highest quality feedback and materials as possible. But of course, that is why you are here today. Okay, guys, thank you very much for those. I really appreciate that. So when it comes to OET speaking that we're doing today, what's your biggest challenge with your OET speaking exam? Let me know in the comments, guys. OET speaking, what is your biggest challenge when it comes to preparing for the exam? Please let me know. I want to know exactly what you find hard, what you feel that you're struggling with, what you are concerned about doing in the OET exam when you do it in next month or in 2 months' time, as most of you are doing the exam in August or September, like you've told me in this class already. But I want to know, what's your biggest challenge? What do you find difficult about your OET speaking? And what do you think you can do to overcome that, please? So throw your comments into the chat box and let me see. Okay. Zahid has said an introduction for speaking. Regina has said planning my exam. Komal has said to make proper sentences. Labakh has said fluency. Okay. Patricia has said thought block, trying to think of the answers, trying to organize myself during explanation. Hindi has said understanding the scenario. Ahmad has said time management. All of these are very valid. Zahira said proper arrangement. Shija, to initiate the role play. All of these are great reasons. Kanza has said vocab. And Vergi has said displaying empathy. All of these are valid reasons, okay? Valid. They come up all the time. The speaking part is a nerve-wracking part of the exam. And that's why I want to emphasize today how essential it is for you to practice your OET exam with expert teachers, because that feedback is essential in your OET exam. You can speak all you want to the wall when you're practicing by yourself, possibly, but will that wall speak back to you? Will that wall give you feedback? No, it won't. That's why it's so important that feedback, you are given live feedback on your speaking with the criteria, so you know what you're doing well, what you need to improve on, and how you can get to that their expert score in your OET exam. So if you're not getting expert feedback in your OET speaking at this point, and your exam is this month or next, please consider getting that feedback ASAP to maximize your chances of passing the exam. We're going to address some of that criteria today in this OET speaking class. But first of all, we're going to look at the 2 sets of scoring criteria. I know most of you know that, so I'm just going to go straight into what linguistic and clinical communication criteria are for the OET exam, with a few tips on how you can maximize your score in these in the scoring criteria for your OET exam. So linguistic criteria, as we can see, as you probably hopefully already know, is divided into 4 different sets of sub-criterion. They include your intelligibility, your fluency, your appropriateness of language, and your resources of grammar and expression. So exactly what do all of these mean? Well, the intelligibility is your pronunciation, your sounds that you create, your vowels, your consonant blends, your diphthongs, your short and long sounds, etc., etc. Intonation, your pitch. Do you speak flat like a robot the whole time? Hopefully not. Hopefully you rise and fall as is appropriate with the English language to express yourself, and also do some word stress and sentence stress as well. And finally, your accents. Now, a lot of candidates think, I have to try and change my accent for the exam, right? I have to change it. I shouldn't be speaking with my normal accent. I'm going to tell you that's actually a very bad idea for you to try and recreate a native English speaking accent, because one, it might not sound so good, and two, it's also not necessary. You may have to change your accent by neutralizing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm not speaking how I normally would. I'm neutralizing my accent by slowing my speech down and enunciating my words a bit better. So make sure that if you do have a particular heavy accent and you've had feedback of that in your OET exam with your preparation, that you do that as well. You neutralize it, speak slower, speak slightly clearer. It will do wonders for your intelligibility. Trust me in that, but you don't have to change your accent at all. Next, we have fluency, which is the impact of the speed and smoothness of your speech, of your listeners' understanding. Another myth about the OET exam, about any English exam. Oh, fluency is about speaking as fast as I can. Fast, 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 fast. Right? So a degree of speed is important, but what happens if you start going, well, etc., etc.? You might have the speed, but you won't have the smoothness. It's all about smooth speech with little hesitation, repetition, interruptions, etc., etc. So my top tip for your fluency is to think about the speed that you speak at in your native language and reduce that speed slightly for your OET exam and your OET preparation. That will give you a bit more of a chance for your tongue to catch up with your brain if there's any translations happening, if there's any thinking about the language you have to use, to avoid those ahs and those ers. Of course, the more practice you do will minimize that too. But bring your speed down a bit so you can maintain that rate of speech the entire time without using any of those markers that struggle for your fluency. Okay, it's not about speed only, it's also about your smoothness of speech. That's my top tip for that criteria. Next, we have appropriateness of language, which is the impact of your language and your tone and your professionalism on your listeners' understanding. Most candidates are very, very good at this because you're very used to the tone and language that you have to use for your job itself. You're just making sure you're speaking suitably formal, but not too formal, but also not when you do obviously use some informal language as a doctor would do to create relatability and empathy, that you're doing that appropriately and not coming across as too casually. But of course, it is worthwhile preparing for the appropriateness of language and knowing how to express yourself in the English language. But most candidates are still very good at that. Finally, we have the resources of grammar and expression, which is the impact of your level of grammatical accuracy and vocabulary choices on your listeners' understanding. Key for this is grammatical accuracy. Not about the IELTS exam, which tests, for example, your range of grammar. You don't have to make it any more complicated than it needs to be. Don't forget, communication is clear in this section. You're communicating to someone else. So if you're making it too complicated, that's going to affect your communication. For example, you're trying to use a lot of complicated tenses, but the message that you're trying to convey is not clear. You're not going to communicate effectively. So only make it as complicated as it needs to be when you're speaking. To communicate effectively. Of course, you can't be using simple language the entire time because that will take away from your communication the other way. But that's why use what you know well, get feedback from a teacher. If the teacher can give you some feedback on how to make it a bit more concise and a little bit more complicated, that will improve your communication, then do so. But don't make it overly complicated with your grammar. Accuracy is better than range when it comes to the OET exam. Those are my tips for the 4 scoring criteria for linguistic criteria. Let's now have a look at the clinical communication criteria. 5 sections for that: relationship building, understanding and incorporating, providing structure, information gathering, and information giving. So when it comes to relationship building, that is the impact of your choice of opening to the conversation and demonstration of empathy and respect on your listeners' understanding. I still hear a lot of role plays where they say, "Hello, how are you? How can I help you?" Is that an appropriate opener? Not really. It's too fast. It's too informal. It doesn't immediately grasp my attention or even show any empathy. It seems quite rushed, right? So there's a lot of ways that you can open up a conversation with your empathy. Something like, "Hello, my name is Dr. or Nurse so-and-so. Welcome to the place today, hospital, clinic, GP, ward, etc. How are you? How are you feeling? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Anyway, let me please tell me how I can help you today. Something like that. Introduce yourself formally, ask how the patient is, and then get to the issue that's on hand. Of course, there's a lot of variation sometimes in terms of is it a follow-up, what's happening, but make sure, of course, you introduce yourself, who you are, ask the patient how they are, and then get on formally with the conversation as it happens, as well as demonstrate empathy throughout that conversation. Every time the patient has they express an anxiety, a worry, a struggle, or explain their symptoms, tell them, oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry to hear that about you. Oh, I understand what you must be going through. Let me reassure you that. Empathy throughout the conversation is very, very important. And Western healthcare systems put a lot of empathy in it in the clinical communication context. And that's, of course, why you're doing this exam for that reason. Okay. Next, we have understanding and incorporating, which is the impact of how fully you involve the patient in the conversation on your listeners' understanding and comfort. This can be a tricky one for some candidates who are new to the OET exam, where you're tempted to speak the entire time yourself. I want to command the conversation. I speak for long periods of time without involving the patient. Yes, you shouldn't command it. You should lead the conversation. You should be doing the majority of the speaking, but don't forget, it is a dialogue. There has to be a two-way communication. So you need to find ways to get the patient involved in the conversation. And that's why asking, what is earth is asking? Let's try that again. Asking appropriate questions is important for this criteria. Questions to get the patient involved. It could be about their symptoms, how they feel, follow-up questions about the flow of the role play and what's happening. It could even just be involving the patient by using active listening. So when the patient's talking about themselves, right, okay, I see. Oh, I'm sorry, etc., etc. Create a dialogue, create a conversation, get the patient involved with some open questions. Anything you can use in the role play card, make it a question as much as you can. Next, we have providing structure. The good news about that is that the role play does flow from beginning to end. Some candidates ask me, oh, can I change the bullet points around? Can I mention this first and then mention that next? My answer to that is, why are you making it more complicated for yourself? You've got a lot to do in the 3 minutes. If you can just follow the role play through from beginning to end, the typical ways of doing about a role play, there's no need to change it. In fact, it works perfectly well from beginning to end. So how can you organize the information, use signposting devices, and introduce new topics of understanding, new topics for discussion for your listeners' understanding? Final two categories we have include information gathering and information giving. Information gathering is all about asking those questions and checking the responses. So can you ask lots of open questions that involve the patient getting involved? Can you respond appropriately to those questions and then signposting the next part of the conversation, aka by asking another question or by giving a bit more follow-up information, aka diagnosis. So information gathering, asking the questions, getting the patients involved while demonstrating empathy and understanding. And then finally, we have information giving, which is the impact of how you provide information and check this information is being understood on your listeners' comfort and understanding. Now, of course, giving information is one thing, but one thing a lot of candidates new to the OET exam, and even some who've been preparing for a while, is they don't check for understanding. And that's important for the OET exam. So it's all good if you're giving all this great information about the next steps, the diagnosis, the treatment options, etc. But a lot of candidates just kind of stop and then wait for the candidate, the interlocutor or the patient to begin speaking. Remember, you should be commanding the conversation and you should also be checking for understanding. So this is where these closed questions come in really useful. Closed questions that include, how is that for you? Are you okay with this? How do you feel about this? Is this okay for you? Etc. Closed questions that warrant a simple yes/no answer or something like that will check for understanding. You can then ensure that the patient has understood anything. If they don't, they'll let you know, and then you can carry on with the conversation. So make sure that you're asking these closed questions every time you're relaying important information to the candidate and then checking for their understanding, acknowledging they've understood, signposting in the next part of the conversation. So practice some of those today and practice some of those phrases later on when you're doing your own OET speaking practice. So guys, hope you found that useful. Bit of a breakdown of the OET speaking criteria. We're now going to get into the speaking practice today. So in the class today, I'm going to be checking for everyone who's taking part in these OET role plays today. I'm going to be assessing you with a list of questions, about 9 questions here in total, and they kind of basically clarify how well you've done with most of the scoring criteria with some brief comments. So for example, speaking clearly, how was your pronunciation? How was your intonation? How was your fluency? How was your smoothness? Were you speaking with an appropriate language and tone? How was your grammar? How was your vocabulary? Did you show empathy? Did you respond effectively? Was it your role play structured? And was I satisfied as a potential patient in the situation that I was in? So I'm going to go through these questions as we go out through the session. You're of course more than welcome to use these moving forward as well. Okay, let's get started. So the first candidate today is a doctor. So here is the doctor role play card. I want everyone who is a doctor to begin planning for this role play like they are going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to start the timer here for about 3 minutes. I might give a bit more extra time so I can get myself set up properly. If you want to participate in the role play today, have a chance for doing so, I am going to drop a link into the chat box that you're in. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, there will be a link to come and join me in the classroom today. If you want to, click that link. Make sure, of course, you've got a working camera, ideally, high quality microphone, a quiet environment, and most importantly, a stable internet connection. That's very, very important. If the internet, unfortunately, isn't up to standard, I may have to give another person a chance to speak, because if the internet isn't stable, we won't be able to have the role play today. So make sure that your internet is of a high enough quality. Okay, so that's it, guys. Keep an eye out for the link. Begin planning for this role play right now. If you are a doctors only the first time round, please. I'll put this full screen. I'll turn off my microphone. I'll stop speaking for a while. Look out for the link, and good luck planning for this first role play today. Okay, everyone, that is time. So well done for everyone taking time to plan and prepare for the role play. Remember, if you don't get a chance to speak today, listen up to my advice, go through the role play, imagine you doing it yourself, and see if you would do anything better yourself, or just evaluate your own performance that you would do in the role play itself as well. So I'm going to give Miss Ba a chance to take part in the role play today. Hello, Miss Ba, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. Thanks for joining me today. How do you feel about being live and OET official doing some mock role play practice?
Quite nervous.
Naturally. But just think it's only me. I'm the only person here taking part in
Yes.
this role play, okay? So tell me a bit about yourself, where you're from, when you're taking your OET exam. Hello to your son, I believe, there, to his forehead
Yes.
anyway. Hello, forehead of
Yes.
son.
I think you need to move. Yes, I'm actually from India and I'm currently living in the UK. I have
Mhm.
completed my undergraduation as well as post graduation from India already. But to be eligible to practice in the UK, I need to take the English language exam. So that's the reason I'm planning to give the OET. And yes, that's the plan.
Very nice. So when do you plan to take your OET exam?
In the UK itself, here.
Yeah, but when?
When probably I've just started preparation, so maybe sometime in at the end of August or September, maybe.
Okay. First advice for that would be not to rush with your preparation, just to make sure that, of course, you only take the exam when you know you are ready to pass the exam. It'll save you time and it'll save you money, that's for sure.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks for coming on board today, Miss Ba. Let's get started with the OET mock speaking role play today. I'll put this back on the screen. So here is the role play cards. Whenever you are ready, Miss Ba, let me know. I'll start the timer and you can take part in the OET speaking role play today.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, then begin and we'll go through it.
Hello. Uh, Hello, Scott. How are you doing today?
Oh, hi, doctor. Thanks for seeing me today. I'm not so bad. I'm actually not here for me. I'm here about my 2-year-old son today.
Oh, is it? May I ask how I can help you with that?
Well, I'm really concerned mostly about my child's appetite. So
Mm-hmm.
my child's 2 years old and
Okay.
he never eats all of his foods
Okay.
and doesn't like a lot of food either. However, he does drink a lot of milk and a lot of sugary
Okay.
foods. And I'm just kind of concerned because children his age have got a great appetite, whereas mine doesn't. So, what do you think the problem might be, Doctor?
Okay. I can very well understand your concern regarding your son's growth. So, firstly, I would like to ask you, does he have this problem with any kind of food? I mean, with every kind of food.
Yeah, pretty much, minus
Okay.
sugary foods and milk. That's all he really eats.
Okay, I see. I think that's quite the problem with almost all children of his age
Okay.
currently. So, anything, I mean, do you notice any changes in his behavior or his attention or how he concentrates on doing things? Is there any change in that?
And no real changes, just
Oh,
typical child. But the main concern is his weights, under eating a lot and eating the wrong
okay.
foods. Composition might be a problem going.
Well, it's nice to know that his behavior and other concentration skills are on point.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I would like to tell you at this point, your concern is very, very genuine, and I appreciate that. But I would just like to let you know that children around this age are, they tend to be very picky eaters, and almost all children of his age tend to refuse food. So, I mean, I don't think you need to be so concerned about that.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as far as I can see, his weight looks absolutely normal for his age. And
Okay.
so, anything else that concerns you?
Well, thank you very much, doctor, for confirming that everything seems to be reasonably normal. But is there anything I can do to improve his appetite? Anything I can do to get him to eat more fruits and vegetables, more healthy foods, less milk, and less chocolate. He loves
Oh,
chocolate.
your concern and your idea is absolutely on point. I definitely would consider reducing the amount of sugary food as well as chocolates in his diet, because
Hmm.
what happens is when children tend to take more of that, they tend to reduce on, their palate adjusts to that kind of food, and they don't like to take the healthier food. So you can continue with the milk. Milk is not sure a problem, but yes, I would just advise you to reduce a little bit of sugary stuff. Is that
Yeah.
okay with you?
Well, that's great because I don't want to actually reduce that food because I feel like if I completely eliminate that food, he won't eat
Mm-hmm.
anything, right?
Yes, yes, definitely.
But I'm just concerned about is there anything else that this could be? Because his peers, our neighbor has a 2-year-old son as well, and he eats a healthier range of foods. So, I mean, would it be worth taking a test to, just to reassure me and him that it might not be anything else that's a problem with him?
I definitely do understand the concern you hold, and when you compare your child to the others, you may find him to be a little, you know, uh, I mean, we all tend to compare. So, no, I think I would suggest that we will hold on to the test part of it. And why don't we consider modifying his diet and reducing the sugary stuff? And you can include probably fun ways of introducing healthy foods into his diet, maybe like you know cutting them into shapes that are more fun for him to see and eat. And then let's just wait. And generally, children around his age, apart from when they have the growth spurt, don't require that much of food. So I think we can wait, try this change, and then probably we can review him in 4 weeks. And then
Okay.
let's take a call whether we need to go do some tests. If that's okay with you, I
Okay.
hope I'm clear.
Okay. Yeah, that's all clear, doctor. Thanks. That's probably the best thing to do. We'll review it in 4 weeks and we'll take on board your suggestion. See
Oh,
if
I'm
anything.
so glad I could be of help to you.
Okay.
I
Well, thank
hope
you
you
very
have a
much,
good
doc.
day.
You too. Thank you very much, doctor. Take care.
You're welcome. Take care too. See
All
you in
right.
4 weeks then.
See you, doctor, and relax. Well done. How was that for you today, Mishma? I know there were a few distractions in the background, which means
Oh,
if you can do it in your home, you can do it in front of the OET interlocutor because there won't be those distractions
oh, I'm
happening.
so sorry to everyone
No,
watching
it's
for
great.
all the noise in
It,
the background. I
it's
just
great. I
try
hope
to keep
everyone is
my
watching.
surroundings very quiet.
It's always the best. I hope everyone at home was enjoying the session because I know I was giggling a bit inside, but trying to remain serious on the outside. Anyway, how was the OET session? The OET role play for you there. How did you feel doing it?
I was nervous initially, but I think as the conversation went on, I was okay. Now it's all up to you to give me the feedback.
Yes, certainly. A bit more hesitant at first, but you started to loosen up and go through the role play a bit better today at the very end. So, do you think would be your number one weakness in your OET speaking, Miss Bao? Just assessing yourself right now.
I think I'm too impatient. I don't wait for the patient to complete, or probably I tend to talk a lot. That's what I feel.
Right, right. Um, of
And for me
course.
personally, my fear, I don't know whether I'm weak at it, but my fear is I am able to use the appropriate language so as to not offend the patient and be as empathetic and sympathetic as possible.
That is appropriate. One aspect of OET speaking that you want to avoid is using what's called judgmental language. It
Mm-hmm.
inadvertently offends the patient, so you have to be as as clinical as possible. Well,
Mm-hmm.
anyway, let's just go through some of the criteria here, okay? And the most important thing I have for you right now is that I think that your linguistic criteria overall was amazing, and Miss
Thank
I
you.
thought that you were mostly a very clear and easy to understand speaker. There might have been a bit of rapid speech sometime. You did a good job, though, at trying to enunciate your words, which is really, really appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that your pronunciation, intonation was all mostly very, very relevant too.
Okay.
You're quite a fluent speaker, maybe a little bit rapid at times. Only
Mm-hmm.
reduce that and enunciate a little bit much, but there
Sure.
was very little hesitation and repetition, and
Mm-hmm.
a minimal use of fillers or other distractors. So well done
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Mm-hmm.
Your language was mostly appropriate and your tone was professional for a doctor. As I said, most candidates are quite good with that. And I didn't really pick up on any major grammatical or vocabulary issues. So you're very, very clear that way.
Thank you.
I thought that you're coming to the clinical communication criteria, that
Okay.
your empathy improved later
Mm-hmm.
on in the role play. Maybe at first, I think you were a bit distracted for an obvious reason. And you could forget to do a couple of things, right? But you did start to like reassure me everything's fine, you don't need to worry, it's okay. When I was obviously very visibly distressed regarding my son's weight, right? Um, Second question was, did you listen to the patient and respond effectively and appropriately? I think you did. Now, a couple of things happened in the role play, which may have been because you were nervous, or it may have been because we're using the internet. But before I finish my point, you start speaking over me.
Mm-hmm.
So that might have been nerves. It might have been the internet connection. I'm not sure with how we're different parts of the world speaking right now. But if that was because of nerves, be very, very careful to let the speaker speak and then only respond once they finish speaking at the end of the sentence. But as I said, I'm not sure what the reason for that was. Okay. Was the information structured appropriately? For the most part, I think you went through most of the cards in appropriate order. You gave lots of information. There were a couple of times where maybe you were speaking for quite a long time,
Okay.
when maybe you could have got involved with the conversation and improved
Mm-hmm.
your information gathering score by asking a few small questions about the card, etc. So
Okay.
think about how you can even create small questions with the information on the card as well. Get the
Okay.
patient involved, get them speaking a bit more. Now, regarding your information giving, always appropriate, empathy device, you gave appropriate information, and then you did ask for my understanding at times. There was one time, though, that you did use an open question. So you said to me, anything else I can answer you? Try to
Okay.
avoid asking open questions or
Mm-hmm.
checking for understanding because the patient or the interlocutor could then ask a huge question
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate to the cards, and then that could add on to your time. You just want to check for closed questions.
Okay.
How is that for you? Are you okay with this? How do you feel
Yes.
about this, etc.?
Yes. I'm
It's
glad
okay.
for the. You can
Sorry,
finish
Miss.
that. You can complete. You were saying something, then I will go.
Yeah. So think about your closed questions and appropriating that information. Keep the role play flowing. Your structure was mostly appropriate, but as I said, there were a few distractors today. Okay, worse than the OET exam, as I'm going to say. Um, your opening was a bit informal. You said, "Hello, Scott. How are you?" And
Okay.
then you asked. Then I relied on myself to tell you the information today. So, hello, my name is Dr. Mispa. I'm going to be your attending doctor today. How are you feeling today? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the issue? How can I help you? Something like that. There. Nice and
Okay.
appropriate, but also suitably formal at the very beginning. It was a follow-up, slightly different, but that's just a rough idea in terms of a formal, appropriate opener at the very, very beginning. But apart from that, I was very satisfied with the quality of the role play today. Your linguistic criteria is amazing. A few things to think about when you're applying your own role play practice is making sure you're asking closed questions,
Mm-hmm.
getting the patient involved a bit more with open questions to break down those large chunks of speaking. Think about a more suitable opener and make sure that you're letting the speaker speak entirely before you get involved with the conversation, because that's obviously you're creating a dialogue. You want to make sure that there's no inappropriate cutting off or speaking inappropriately when you should be. But it was very good. Well done,
Thank
Mister.
you. Thank
Any
you.
questions for me about that?
No, I think you pointed out exactly what I fear I would do. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
do tend to cut off, not only as a doctor, but I think in general too. So I need to practice more on that to allow the speaker to finish and then talk.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, most of the things that you gave me feedback on, I will definitely practice more on them and work on it. And thanks a
Great.
lot.
Oh,
So
I'm very happy to hear that. So, good luck with your preparation, Miss Beth. Take
thank
that
you.
advice on. Make sure you get more feedback in your OET speaking. I love how it's quiet now
Yes.
after the role play. You know, it's always when the, it's always at the wrong time. But
Yes.
anyway, I enjoyed it. Thanks, Miss Beth. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you.
the class, and well done for taking part in that role play today. It was very nice
Thank
to meet you
you.
as well. And good luck with your OET
Nice
preparation.
talking to you too. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Okay, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed that first role play today and you enjoyed the humor that was happening in the background. You know, some people say to me, Scott, how can you remain so calm in that situation? Because I'm just a calm person, I guess. Anyway, thanks a lot, everyone, for taking part and listening to that role play. Throw any comments you have for Miss Bat in the comment box. I'm sure she'd love to read them. And if I get a chance to, I'll also read them as well. So first role play done. Let's now get stuck into our second role play. But before I get stuck into the second role play, for anyone who is yet to take their OET preparation to the next level, then there hasn't been a better weekend for you to do so with us at Swoosh English. If you were enjoying that speaking practice today, then make sure you are getting essential speaking practice and feedback in your OET exam. And the best chance for you to do that is at Swoosh English this weekend. We're offering a free upgrade on selected OET preparation courses. So if you're wanting feedback in your writing and your speaking, you're going to get upgrade to get more of those for free this weekend. So you're literally going to save hundreds of dollars if you buy our deluxe program. You get upgraded to our premium for free. If you buy our premium package, you get upgraded to our VIP package for free. You're literally getting tens of extra writing corrections. And if you're getting to the premium to the VIP, you're getting 3 free one-to-one OET speaking classes as well. So you want to do that, make sure you hurry up. It's for this weekend only. So it's valid until midnight, Sunday, August 1st. So you've got about 48 hours to take advantage of that offer this weekend. If you want to do so, head over to Swoosh English, www.swooshenglish.com today. Take advantage of that speaking practice. More information at the bottom of the screen as well. Look at that scrolling banner. It'll tell you all the information you have. But we'd love to have you come on board with us this weekend at Swoosh English and practice your OET speaking and writing with more content with a premium preparation certified provider. So guys, second role play today. This one now is for our nurses. So if you are a nurse, it's now your time. Like last time, I'm going to put in a link. That link will then give you a chance to come in and join me in the Swoosh English classroom today. Like last time, make sure, of course, you're ideally using a camera, you're using a good audio source, a microphone. If you don't have that, so quiet environments would be ideal. Suitable internet connection as well. If the internet connection isn't up to scratch, I will probably have to give someone else a chance to speak. And just make sure you're ready and prepared to take part in that OET speaking practice today. So guys, I'm going to start the timer now for a few minutes. 3 minutes preparation time as you would in the OET exam. I'll give roughly that amount of time to take part in the speaking class today. Nurses only for this next part. So I'm going to put this card full screen. Keep an eye out for the link in your Facebook feed or your YouTube feed. If you want to come in, click the link, come and join me, and I'll give you a chance to do some speaking practice with me. Good luck, everyone, and enjoy your practice. Okay, everyone, and that's the preparation time up for our second role play of the day. Well, looks like we got a candidate by default today. We got Van in the studio. Hello, Van. I'm going to add you to the stream right now. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. I've been practicing for so many times, but
Oh, fantastic.
I but only for listening and reading.
But now you're getting a chance to do some speaking practice today as well. How amazing is that?
Yes, and it's silly because it's my first time here. I've been practicing on some reviewers.
Okay, great. Well, welcome to the session. Can I first of all confirm you are a nurse? I believe you are, right?
Yes, I'm a nurse.
Fantastic. And tell me a bit about yourself, where you're from, when you plan to take your OET exam, what you plan to do when you pass your OET exam.
I'm from Philippines and planning to apply in UK.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you very much for coming on board today. So let's start the role play unless you've got any questions you have before we begin.
Nothing.
All good to
Can
go?
we
Okay, great.
start?
So,
I'm nervous. Yes.
oh, don't worry, you will feel nervous. Just try and ignore everything else that's happening around you, ignore me, focus on that role play card, and do your best today.
Yes,
That's why you're
because
here.
I'm not fluent in English, but
Well, I will be the judge of that when I do the role play with you today. But enjoy the practice and make the most of it no matter how you feel today, Van. Okay. So here's the role play cards. Whenever you are ready, you can begin and I will start the timer.
ready.
Ready. So begin and we'll go through it. Good luck today.
Hello, sir. What brought you here today? Hospital. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hi.
To this hospital.
Yeah, hi nurse. Thanks for not for taking the time to speak to me today. Um, I'm in for my father today. He's 81 and he's recently been told that he has to go through a tri-weekly dialysis program. He's a bit worried. I'm a bit worried. He's being taken care of by the charge nurse, but I'm just wondering while I'm waiting for the next steps if you could give me some information about what's happening right now. So I don't know anything about what dialysis is and what kidney failure is. Could you give me some information on this?
I'm glad that I can help you. Can I know your name first so I can address you properly?
Yes, sure. My name's Scott.
Scott. Yes, Scott. I know how hard it is for your father, but dialysis is it's a very safe procedure, and it will help your father to clean his kidney because in your record, your father's kidney is not working properly. Do
Mhm.
you know about this?
So kidney failure means it's not working properly. Okay. What does that mean? How is it not working?
It means that your father's kidney cannot clean your cleans his toxic blood any longer. So
Okay.
the toxin may stay at your father's blood, and it will cause complication.
Okay. Right. And what is dialysis? What does that do?
Dialysis, dialysis, in dialysis, there will be a machine connected to your father's vein, and it will help to filter the toxins so that the toxins will go out to your father's body.
Okay. And I just want to know more about why he has to come in 3 times a week. That seems a lot. Can you explain to me why it needs to be a tri-weekly dialysis program he needs to be on? So, nurse,
Um,
why does he have to
because
be?
toxins may build up over time. In your father's case,
Hmm.
The toxins may build up rapidly or very fast. So that's why we need to do it 3 times a week. How does that sound to you?
Oh, okay, right. So it's pretty bad. I'm wondering if this will improve his condition. Will his kidney failure improve over time, or will this be a long-term solution?
If we are going to do this right every three times a week,
Hmm.
your father's kidney will improve and
Hmm.
it is more beneficial for him.
That's good to know. Good to know it will improve over time. Will it be painful? He's quite concerned that this procedure might give him a lot of pain and distress. Will that be the case, nurse?
Dialysis is not painful, but your father might feel dizzy during the procedure because his blood is flowing through a machine and through his body.
Okay, okay. So there'll be a bit of pain, right? Um, what would happen to him if he decided to not do this treatment? He's quite concerned about it. If he wasn't to
Uh,
go through this treatment, then what would be the situation, nurse?
Sad to say that we really need to convince your father to do this
Hmm.
procedure because your father's organ might fail. His heart, kidneys, livers may not function as well because
Okay,
that will be the effect if we not do this dialysis.
okay. So it needs to happen. Okay, nurse. Thanks a lot for your time today. I really appreciate your information about the situation. I feel a bit more informed now. Thank you.
I'm glad that I can help. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's the end of the role play, Van. How do you feel?
I'm shy and nervous at the same time.
A little bit nervous today. That's going to happen, especially the way you're doing it today. You're doing it in front of quite a lot of people and getting some live feedback as well with the premium preparation providers schools. So, what do you think you were good at today? What was your strong point, in your opinion?
I don't think I have any.
You always have something. Everyone always has something. So I'm not going to ask you what you think that you weren't so good at, because I'm sure you've got lots of things in your head. I'm just going to go through my feedback with you right now today. Give me a second. Okay. So, um, first of all, were you a clear speaker and easy to understand? You were quite good, but I feel like you were kind of mumbling a bit. You were kind of like speaking down here a little bit. So that might have came because you were nervous and you probably didn't have any confidence. That's what I would say it was. So if you feel confident, you pretend you're confident and you will be confident. So make sure that when you're doing these role plays, you give it your all. You express yourself loudly, you express yourself clearly. Because if you feel confident, you will be confident. And that will improve everything about your role play, my friend. How was your pronunciation intonation? Pronunciation was good. I didn't really pick up any major pronunciation errors. Intonation, a bit more expressiveness, once again, comes with the confidence, right? Um, to make sure you're expressing yourself appropriately, you're raising your pitch and you're lowering it as is appropriate with the language. Were you able to speak fluently and smoothly with few hesitations and false starts? Your smoothness was good when you got speaking, but sometimes there was a few pauses here and there because maybe you were evaluating what to say next a little bit. So all comes back to that confidence. If you can feel confident in that, I can tell you can express yourself well in English. You have the mechanics of the language down quite well. The more confident that you feel, those hesitations will become less. It's not a language based thing, it's hesitancy because of your confidence. Okay. Did you use appropriate language and tone? Yeah, for the most part. You maybe were a bit too relaxed at times, but if you, I think overall though, you're pretty good at speaking appropriately for a nurse within a situation. Okay. How was your grammar and how was your vocabulary? Didn't really pick up any errors at all. in regards to that. Whatever vocabulary and grammar you used, you did use it well. So let's get on now to the clinical communication criteria. Did you speak in a way that offered empathy and support? One massive thing missing in this role play, there was zero empathy. There was nothing expressed to relate to me worrying about my father, worrying about him going through dialysis, the pain he might feel, the procedure he's going to go through. So every time I expressed a question, you just told me the answer, but you didn't say, I understand that you feel this way, Scott, but rest assured it's fine. You don't need to worry. Everything's going to be okay. I understand how you feel. So much more empathy is needed in this role play throughout. So every time you respond to the patient, it's good practice to begin with an empathetic phrase. Learn them, use them for your OET exam. Very, very important. Did you listen to the patient and respond effectively and appropriately? I think you probably could have. I could see that you were reading the cue card quite a lot while you were speaking. So a bit more organization and filling out that information is required to use appropriate B-level language to score well in your information giving. So a bit more work is going to be needed in that to look at the cue card, expand that into appropriate sentences, and give that information appropriately to the patient. Was it structured appropriately? Well, I think you went through the role play quite well. But as I said, you probably could have expanded that more, but you actually gave me a few parts of incorrect advice as well. You told me that he will improve, whereas the cue card said he won't improve. So it's really important that you're given the information correctly and appropriately. Finally, was I satisfied with delivery of the information? Not so much, because I couldn't feel that empathy from you. I felt like I was leading the conversation, and I felt like the information wasn't clear. So work on that empathy, work on confidence, because when the confidence comes, the role play will get so much better. Expanding those case notes appropriately, asking more closed questions. You asked me once, how does that feel for you? But you should begin and end every part of the conversation. You need to take command of this role play, Van. You are in the lead. As I felt today, I had to take the lead. Okay? And everything will improve. So learn the criteria, get lots of practice, you will feel much more confident, and those role plays will improve. Will be my advice for you. How's that for you today?
Actually, I'm not expecting this. I
Well,
just tried my.
Well, the important thing is that you've heard some advice now. You have this information. You now know what you have to do. Okay. Don't forget your strengths today included that you are able to piece together the language quite well. You're quite a clear speaker. That's important. The next stops now are for you is to learn that criteria and get lots of practice in applying that criteria with feedback. That's a surefire way for you to improve and get better in your OET speaking.
Thank you.
Well done today. Massive congratulations for coming on today, even though you weren't overly confident with yourself, but you've taken a massive step today coming on today and doing the speaking practice with me. So well done with that. Well done.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Van. Anything else you want to ask me before we finish?
None.
Nice to meet you today, my friend. Good luck with your OET preparation, and I hope to speak to you again soon sometime. Take care. Okay, guys, and that was Van with our second speaker today. Well done to him, first and foremost. Everyone else is probably thinking he was quite nervous coming on board today, and a lot of hesitation. But I mean, he just did a speaking practice in front of 300 odd people. That is amazing. So, Van, congratulations once again on coming on board and doing that speaking practice today. And you're now one step closer to your OET passing goal with that feedback and knowing what you have to do to improve your exam a bit more. Thanks a lot, guys. Keep the comments coming in. We're about to finish up very, very soon, but well done for taking part in this class today to our two speakers, our doctor and our nurse. So guys, if you want to pass the OET exam the first time, Motivation to succeed. Most of you have that. You have your goals, you have your aspirations. Give yourself enough time. Some of you are taking the exam August and September. I hope you're prepared. But if you do not feel like you're ready to book your exam within a month, my advice would be to not give yourself a bit more time. You also need the appropriate tools, classes, video lectures, writing corrections, mock exams, etc., and support and feedback, like what I did today. I gave you feedback on your speaking and your writing. These are all appropriate for you to pass your OET exam the first time. So if you do have all of these, you're on the right track. If not, time is not up to make sure that you do get all of these in your checklist for your OET preparation. And as I mentioned, this weekend at Swoosh English, we're offering a free upgrade on selected OET courses, giving you more chances for more of those tools and more of that essential feedback, especially on your writing and on your speaking with one-to-one classes. So you can save hundreds of dollars this weekend. If you buy our deluxe package, you get upgraded to the premium package with 10 extra writing corrections. If you buy our premium package, you get upgraded to our VIP package with 10 extra writing corrections and 3 personalized, like today, one-to-one classes, all for completely free. Free upgrade this weekend. But as I said, it's only this weekend. So if you're interested, you have until midnight Sunday, August 1st, midnight time, so 48 hours for our free upgrade offer. If you're interested in that, of course, you'll see in the comments on the right-hand side of the screen, it gives you information about our packages, where to go, how to purchase them, or you just head on over to Swoosh English, www.swooshenglish.com today, and you'll see all of the information on our website. I would personally love to see some of you guys in those one-to-one sessions, getting those free one-to-one classes with me this weekend. So that's our offer. But of course, next week we'll be doing another live OET session. Next week we'll be doing OET reading, a guide to Part C. Last week we had our listening session for a guide to Part C, and then we got lots of great feedback on that session. Students were loving getting some practice with the hardest parts, arguably, of listening and reading, Part C. And next week, we're going to be doing our Part C OET reading guide. That's Friday, 6th of August, 9 a.m. UK time. So make sure, of course, that you check in and you come and join us for the next class next week. So guys, that brings our class to a close today. Thank you so much for coming today. I really, really appreciate everyone taking part in the class, to our 2 speakers, Misbah and Van, for coming on board and getting some feedback on their OET speaking. Of course, guys, the rest of you can do the exact same thing with us at Swoosh English. More than happy to give you lots of great personalized feedback on your OET exam. Those who passed the exam this weekend, congratulations, well done. Those who are taking the exam very soon, I wish you the best of luck with your OET preparation. And as I said as well, make sure you're following us on Swoosh English on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. So make sure you click like and follow on Facebook. Make sure you click subscribe, the bottom hand screen of your YouTube channel, and follow us for our YouTube content as well. Thank you very much, Shintu. Thank you very much, Stella Fan, as well, for joining us today. And I really appreciate all of our questions. My call to action now is, guys, check us out, swooshenglish.com this weekend. If you're not yet preparing with a premium preparation provider, you've got a great weekend to come and join us at Swoosh English and help you pass your OET exam the first time. So go on over to www.swooshenglish.com and check out our offer this weekend to give you more great value for your OET speaking test. Athira, come and join us this weekend. I'll address your comment before I finish. Athira, come and join us this weekend to come and get your speaking and your writing practice with. Come and join us at swooshenglish.com. Come and check out our packages. The VIP package will be the best thing for you based on your need for writing and speaking. Come and check us out, though. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, thanks a lot again. Have a great weekend. Have a productive OET preparation weekend. And I'd love to see some of you next week for our next OET official live class with Swoosh English. Have a great weekend, everyone. Take care. Happy studying, and see you all soon. Goodbye.